Hello everyone. Today Sarah and we are in Zurich and we will talk about the market and what is the difference between the temporary and the permanent desk. And to start off, maybe Sarah, I wanted to ask you, since you have taken over the temporary market, can you tell us what are the differences in the market?
So I found that the pace that the market moves is probably the biggest difference. It's important that I provide excellent candidates within often a few hours to my clients. It's also shown me the importance of speaking to as many candidates as possible on a weekly basis within varied roles with niche skills, so that when the right role comes in, I already have spoken to so many people. They have built their network, I've built my network, and I'm able to provide excellent candidates. But then on the flip side, I found that some clients are bringing that cautiousness from the summer into their hiring process now. So they may be putting an extra step, maybe a panel interview, something like this. I can feel that they're really looking to make the right hire. Even within temp, they're looking to make the right hire the first time.
This is very interesting that you mentioned that, because this is also in the permanent market a very big deal to do. And a lot of companies now are emphasizing really to take their time and to see if a candidate fits not only qualification wise, but also culturally within their company, which I found it very, very exciting, very nice to do as well for a company. However, as I said, on the flip side, different to the temporary market, they really take their time. So sometimes it can be really frustrating for the candidate to go on a third, on a fifth interview, but this is really just to make sure on both sides that this will fit and that the candidate can stay for as long as possible or within the company.
Then with that in mind, what advice would you give to your candidates going forwards?
So definitely to be prepared for the company that you're applying for. I know that you have heard this probably 1,000 times, but you and I know this is really important to know. Where are you applying? What does the company do? What does the company do outside of their core market? Do they support any charities? Do they do any events? Do they offer any employee benefits? Just to emphasize this, and this candidate stand out the most, and the employers will definitely see, okay, this person not only knows our core market, but also did some research on the company and what they do outside of work, let's say. And also a very big topic always is salary. So I totally understand people who come fresh from uni and they don't know yet how much they value or how big the value is that they're going to offer to this company. So therefore, my advice would always be for starters and beginners to bring the question back, ask them back, what is your salary range for this position? Where is it ranged? And also to say, listen, I'm very keen to know and to develop my skill set and to invest, and therefore, they will highly value this as well.
So being prepared, do your homework, take your
Exactly.
time. Yeah. Which is different to my advice, because of course that's important, but it's important to be agile and to be prepared, because as I've said, the speed that the role might turn around does not allow for you to do your research in a company. You might be asked for an interview within hours or the morning after.
Yes.
Of course, you still have a few hours to prepare, but just being prepared, know your CV, know what you're looking for, know the salary range, know your worth. Just going forwards, not just when you have an interview. Make sure you know these things so that you're prepared and you're ready. If it's the temporary world you're looking for, keep yourself as prepared, do as much homework as possible. And then also I would say it's the same as me, build your network. Meet as many people as you can.
Yes.
Speak to us, for example. Even if you're not looking within 2 months, you think, oh, I don't need a job until February. Still speak to us, because then we know you. We've had the initial conversation. When the role comes up mid-January, I can just pick up the phone and we've done the groundwork up front. So it's being prepared, but slightly different prepared to the advice that you would give. But then, Jana, to your clients, do you have anything that you would any advice that you could give them in Q1? Anything that might differ from this year going forwards?
Yes, so we always take a lot of time to really not just put forward several and thousands of CVs, but really take our time to listen to the candidate, to actively see what is behind the CV, because behind every CV is a human being. It's a person who has lived and worked for a couple of years. So we really want to stress out this. And on some CVs, you will see that somebody has switched positions within 6 months, 3 or 4 times. We always do short summaries that we send back to our clients, and we always say, have a moment, take a moment, read these summaries through, because that will give you much more background information than just a regular CV that you have seen 20,000 times before that. So this really changes. And sometimes I had clients who came back and were like, oh, thank God you wrote a short summary, because otherwise we wouldn't invite her for a first interview because she had too much of a change in her CV. So this is something really that brings, you know, a little bit more to a CV. How about you? How's it in temp desk? Do they have the time to actually read the CVs?
That's a very good question. I was just going to say, the CV is obviously there, but you know your process is the same as mine up front. You will speak to people, you will have 15 to 30-minute interview with people before. So we really know the candidates, and often we've had a few phone calls with them. Often we've met them for a coffee, we've got to know them. We understand their story, not just a picture of their CV. If you're a client and you're looking at, say, 3 or 4 different CVs, look at our summaries. Maybe this person is a temp worker. That's why they've had so many changes, because that's normal in the temp world. Maybe they've just come back from maternity and are looking to get back into a new role, or very different reasons why somebody doesn't have, let's say, a traditional CV flow. It's all on there, and it's really nice. You get to know also a little bit about them as a human and how they will fit into your culture.
Well, that all sounds very interesting. I'm really looking forward for the new year.
Yes, very exciting. Looking forward to that.